Welcome back to Coriander Society Adventures! You may notice a few things have changed there, folks. First off, it's great to have you. Second off, my fancy voice mod is not operational today. Third off, there's no fancy green screen because we are in camping mode right now. I'm in the middle of a move. So if the show's a little scuffed today, please bear with us. But the cast is not scuffed. I am once again honored to be joined by Beatdown Boulevard, Ninja Man Matt, and Pods of War. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a couple of weeks. How is everyone starting with Beatdown?
I am good. Things have been good. Yeah.
Wow.
Everyone read the Stormlight Archives.
What is that?
It is fantastic fantasy series. It's excellent.
Didn't they put that in Fortnite?
Did they?
I think they might have put that in Fortnite.
Dude, what haven't they put in Fortnite?
Me.
Fortnite.
I'll tell you what. Blitzball. They haven't put Blitzball in Fortnite yet, and that is an absolute
Oh my
sham.
god. Fortnite is unironically getting a Mistborn crossover. You're right. What the hell?
Yeah, we truly live in a society.
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
All right,
You
Matt,
guys. We live in a
I have to
society.
go so far down.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Matt, how you doing?
My camera's cropping.
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm good. We need to buy a little time for Pods to fix her camera. So, like, what's going on with life and
That
stuff?
sucks, dude. No, I'm doing really great. Taking care of business,
Every day?
family's going well. My almost 2-year-old, her birthday is coming up in 3 weeks, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. I had the pleasure of being able to show her on stream the last time we were all here. That was fun.
I recall.
Right, the wee one made an appearance.
Yeah, the wee one. And yeah, she's doing great. She's talking so much. I'm surprised how much she can actually say and do. And I can go on about Kaylee for way too long. So stop me when you're ready, because
Well, if she can talk a lot, she clearly takes after her father.
you'd be surprised, actually.
Pods, how are things?
I actually met Matt over this weekend.
Yeah, that's right.
And he radiates dad energy. And it didn't come through the screen, but in real life, I'm like, oh my gosh. It's nice.
I'm
He
taller.
just makes me feel like a child.
Wait, how tall are you?
Oh yeah, he's pretty tall.
I'm taller than Pods and shorter than Gnomes.
That's a range.
Pods is not very tall.
Pods is taller than you think.
You are excused.
No, straight up, I was very, very surprised. Pods is much taller than I thought she was as well. So.
Well, what, like 5? We talking 5'7" here, or what's?
It's just like on the taller end of lady height.
No, I'm just
That's a wide
5'4".
Wow, that is short. That is
Maybe
short.
the
It's
shoes.
not short. I don't think it qualifies as short, but I think 5'4" is
5'4"?
average.
Yeah, I think 5'5" is literally average
Hold on.
for
Average
ladies.
height for women.
In America, because it's different everywhere.
Because once you get
Well, I
above
mean, North
5'6",
America,
you're like in
fucking
model range right there.
5'4". Yeah, true. You're literally average. How does it feel?
Congratulations.
Wow.
This is a judgmental episode. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's up with that.
Getting judgy about height is always fun.
Ethan, I think you're taller than I thought too.
Wait, how tall?
Yeah, I get
you?
that a lot. Me, I'm 6'1".
Yeah.
What the?
In the chair, I thought you were like 5'7" to 5'9", and then I found out, I forget where, maybe it was on Twitter, that you're over 6 feet.
It might have been the Twitter, because I posted a photo recently because I saw some friends and everybody's like, "Wait, how tall are you?" Because I was just noticeably taller than everyone else in the photo.
Yeah, I was very. I mean, I don't know why I should be surprised, but I don't know. I guess just because you're a slimmer guy, I thought that you would be shorter, but you're very tall.
We take those.
And then Joe is the mega Chad of tall.
Joe, yeah, I've met Joe. I think you're taller than me.
Yeah, we've actually met. We met at Cast House, the first year of Overwatch League finals in New York.
Dude, we met. It was the first day of grand finals, because fun story. No one told me who you were, because your profile picture literally has not changed in 3 or 4 years, if not longer. And Yeah, and I literally see this. That's just my image of you. And then you walk up and say hello while we're sitting in our seats. It's like, hey, man, what's up? Nice to meet you. It's like, I'm Joe. Oh, I'm Nathan. Oh, we talk. We walk away. I'm like to LaFon, yo, who is that? He's like, oh, it's Tormented by Gnomes. I'm like, what? Nobody told me? What the hell? And he's gone now. Like, what the? I was pretty mad.
That was in the stands, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but then we did see each other at Cast House, so it's all good.
Which was
It sounds like a reality show from 2007.
what, Cast House? No, it was all like
Yeah,
the entire
House.
just a ton
Cast House.
of casters, analysts, broadcasters, like all got an Airbnb and just it was a little bit disastrous. It was
It's still a reality show.
slightly
You haven't really challenged my.
No, he's just trying to like skip to the next part.
Somebody-
He has
yeah,
no way
somebody-
to really talk it.
Somebody pitched that.
Yeah.
Somebody pitched that.
This is
okay.
our pitch. Anybody who wants it, Cast House. Sorry.
Anybody have an agency?
Oh, hey, wait,
I mean-
you have an agency.
Anyone have like a production
I'll pitch
company or a talent, agency or any
Yeah,
of that
hit
stuff?
me up. I am looking.
All right.
I'll pitch it, but I hope you know that I am going to be included in the pitch.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
Okay.
We're gonna recast everybody except for Janessa. She has to be playing herself.
Yeah. It's what we wouldn't expect anything less.
Mhm. All right. Let's get.
Why does Matt get? Never mind.
Wait, why does Matt get what? Top billing? Because I'm a badass dad. That's why.
Matt got
There it
inspiration
is.
already.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah.
It's because I'm a badass dad.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get this show on the road. This is what I get for not doing a
Yay.
pre-show, for just having the pre-show
Bro.
be Finn, my water-stealing cat. It's like we don't get this energy out into the universe. It's gonna find a way.
Yeah.
All right. So, when we last left our heroes, does anyone want to explain what happened last time?
We killed way more angels than we thought we would. Like way more.
Yeah.
I think all but like 2.
And like the chapter 1 boss also
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
Dunked on.
Everything's dead.
this. Yeah, we went into this thing thinking we might get one. Actually, we went into this thinking only one was gonna be there. We got baited by Etelvina.
And then I got
I
baited.
feel like it's less baited and it's more like, hey, one angel is gonna be here, deal with it. And we're like, okay. She just neglected to mention.
I mean, that
the,
sounds pretty baited. If I was like, hey man, come over and read a
I-
book with me, and then it's an entire series. I'm like, no man, you can't leave till you read the entire series.
That's true. And then
You're
she
like,
also
whoa.
did try and capture me and interrogate me. And I was like, hey, I'm here because of you.
But you pulled out one of the most badass escapes that we've seen to get away. That was super
Yes,
cool.
I told the truth.
It was a bold strategy, Cotton, and it seems to have worked out for you.
Yeah,
Sure
I'd say
did.
so.
Our heroes
I
stand
was
for
a
a while.
ninja.
You were a
Yes.
ninja, and nobody can tell you
That's true.
otherwise.
And now you wield spinal columns as a weapon, which is pretty insane.
yeah.
Also
That's
true.
true.
Also true.
The spine whip.
The spinal tap, as it were.
I'm looking kind of creepy.
Give him
Yeah,
you
you've got like the
spinal
Lich
tap.
King
You're scary.
hat, and you're hitting
Oh,
people
yeah,
with a
true.
spinal column. That's
It's a little something.
some
Is it like one of those weapons that
Just a
gets
little
another
bit.
call up, that gets another
I wish.
section of spine every time you kill someone with it?
honestly a little cooler than the item from the book that I got, but the item is still pretty cool itself.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure it does things. and
Our
stuff.
heroes stand in the smoldering wreckage of the Triple Union Society's exclusive garden
Oh.
on their property. Magical
Right.
energy, explosives have all been unleashed here. Dre Dodson has been reduced basically to ash and dust. His compatriot, Castor the Undead Gunslinger, was banished, but his last words as he dissolved into dust himself were, "Kill it." Most of the angels, the only angel, the undead killers who escaped, the only angel who escaped was Natalie Adams, who managed to climb over the wall and make her way to freedom. Before, the finishing touch was John using an orb of sunlight, which he didn't know was going to explode like it did, and it did explode, and it just vaporized all the vampire spawn, the angels, and just wiped out any surviving enemies.
That's what happens when you don't fix the natural 1 on your Arcana check.
Yes.
And you don't break the artifact.
That would have been
You're
a lot
welcome.
more fun.
For who exactly?
Oh man.
What
What would have happened if it like broke?
It would have exploded.
It would have exploded, and you all would have taken a ton of damage, raised the alarm, and we have an act of God immediately.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh.
So,
Man.
Oh my.
it's been a while. Does anyone remember who drew the last act of God?
I feel like
I
it
don't
was
remember much.
Pods, because Pods has been drawing a lot of them, but honestly, maybe not the last one. I feel like the last time we drew it was in the battle with the red hand. I kind of feel like that was the last time it happened.
Everybody roll.
No, it was Baitdown because he got all those potions and stuff. Like he found treasure.
Oh yeah, that's
found like a bunch of treasure.
I did.
Sweet. Okay. In that case, let's proceed and have Matt draw. And did you immediately draw and play an act of God card?
I feel like we need to keep a counter so that way we don't have Matt drawing these things.
I know I'm next. Okay.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
I want to draw.
Ooh, action team assemble.
Okay.
It's Tragmognification time.
All right.
Oh no, this is the worst thing to happen right now.
What is this?
The Justice League, the Ginyu Force Justice League just showed up.
Yeah, but they're heroes, right? So we're good.
Yeah, and we just killed a bunch of citizens.
Yeah, no, we did. We killed a bunch of villains. Hello?
Yes,
I know
yes.
that, and you know that, but does the action team know that?
Exactly.
Oh,
we have
to kill 6 more, I guess.
Well, here's the thing.
I guess we'll find out.
Actually, they were vampires and they disintegrated into dust.
But hey, there's dust right there. That was that vampire. That was that vampire. That was that vampire. That guy. That was the lead vampire. You can just tell.
I think. Oh, wait, are we on the map? I'm seeing the main page. Are we on the actual garden map?
I mean, you were just supposed to be on the main page because the scene was over until the action team assembled.
Oh God.
Sentai.
Oh, that's a lot of dead ninjas. Okay, so no vampires, but a lot of dead ninjas. That's better, actually. I'm happier with that. Oh, but then there's a very dead mayor's son right over there. Oh. Wait, no, he got incinerated too, didn't he?
Yeah, he got blasted into dust.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, no, he's gone. Oh. Okay, so yeah, who's
It's okay, guys. We could handle him.
Yeah,
just stay quiet and see what happens.
Has anybody seen Invincible? Because that might be what's about to go down with Asena just destroying Justice.
Listen, I hope we're on the Omni-Man side of things. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't understand these words.
First of all, you should watch Invincible. Second, you should just beat the shit out of those guys. That's all that really matters.
Oh, I'm good at that. I could do that if it comes down to it.
Exactly.
But I was thinking more of like what?
Sorry, my Roll20 refresh, and I thought Joe just killed me.
I mean, you know, kind of felt like
dead.
But didn't.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, all my notes gone.
Unlucky. All right, so if you recall, folks, there's just dead ninjas everywhere. This whole place where they are having some of the city's elite were having a painting party has exploded. Movie star Tobias Nash was here. Radio host, what was his name?
Felix something or other.
Felix Wiggins was here. Dre Dodson, the mayor's son, was here. Natalie Adams was here. Food columnist and billionaire's daughter, Dorothy Emersmith, was here.
As well as
exploded.
A gangster's maybe daughter. Because she was like, maybe she exists, maybe she don't.
Yeah, Sun Jia was a very elusive figure. Also, Draken DeVry is here, and he's basically been terrorized into following the party.
Yes.
You're going to tell us everything you know. Draken DeVry.
Well, terrorized / guilted. It's like, it's not just kowtow. He also feels guilty about his acts and whatnot.
Does
and
he?
we freed him. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
We kind of power of Janessa compels him, and you know.
Power
like
of spinal
very bad
whip
guy.
compels you.
I mean, I choose to believe that he feels guilty for his actions and wants to atone for them, especially considering he attacked the horrid undead thing as soon as he was freed.
Asena's gonna pretend that she doesn't feel that way, so that way she can punch him in the face later.
Hey, that's fine.
Understandable.
That's
Have a nice day.
totally fine.
Yeah.
Hard to argue with that.
All right, so while I assemble the action team, you all know that you, regardless of what corpses may or may not be on the scene, you've just set off multiple huge explosives, massive gunshots at one of the big crime organization's secret bases, or at least like one of their luxury resorts, which is going to attract some attention no matter what.
Yeah.
True.
So some sort of response is probably in effect. Now, I did mention last time between adventures, you're able to scrape up some money, some treasure, some evidence, do a little bit of collecting here and there. I know that you found some luxury items on some of the bodies, which you can take account of later on. You should have them in your notes. I know that Gastone wanted to collect evidence from Dre Dodson and from Castor, who are the two people here who he knows are from another world. Whereas all the angels who were originally from here and then were transformed, those two are members of the 5 strangers from beyond who arrived here about 22 years ago and took over the Army of the Eclipse. So I know you wanted to collect some evidence about them. Let's go through the room real fast. Gastone, you were collecting evidence. Was there anything else that you wanted to do?
No, that was literally it.
All right. John, was there anything else that you wanted to do while you were here?
I was making an escape plan because, as far as I knew, we collected all of the important items that we found from the individuals, and normally John would be assisting Gastone in collecting evidence, but we need to get the heck out of here.
You know there's a maintenance tunnel, like a water facility up to the north, if you can just bust out that direction.
That was the plan. My thought was that Gastone already, well, now Gastone's collecting evidence, so originally he was just going to rush there and I was going to teleport Asena and I there. And after meeting up there, we were going to hightail it. But now this modifies things.
Okay, then what are you doing?
I would like to use a... Oh god, I don't want to have to keep doing this, but I want to give Gastone the best chance to get out of here. I'm going to use my fiendish artifact, the Red Kiss, the Infernal Talisman, to turn Gastone invisible.
Ooh.
Okay, roll a wisdom
Can I shoot
saving
people
throw.
while invisible?
You can, but the invisibility will end.
Ah, no killing. Sad.
No, I mean,
No,
your
you
first
can
attack,
search.
it'll be a surprise attack, right? Your first attack, you're still invisible. You catch him by surprise, but then after that, you're no longer invisible.
9.
Okay.
Did you roll your wisdom save? Because I don't know if...
Yeah, that was a 9.
Oh, you rolled that as this. Why don't you re-roll that and don't send it to the DM?
Oh, sorry. I thought I had it normally.
No, totally fine. It's because we did some rolls
24.
earlier. All right, cool. That means you score.
Woo! I scored. All
right, so you resist the corruption of the power of the Red Kiss. You
Thank goodness.
mutter an incantation, and Gastone turns invisible.
And if I get to do anything else, as soon as Asena's ready, I'm going to teleport us to the shack.
All right. Before you do that, Asena, are you doing anything else while you're here?
I'm also gonna like pick up random things, but like Gastone's already picked up the useful things, so it's just
you
like
also have a
whatever. I do have a whip. I already got the best prize.
And you have a magic crown that lets you talk to the dead.
Oh, true.
Assuming that they still have bodies. Anybody who got dusted, you can't talk to.
Does it... Can I see if anyone's around?
A lot of dead ninjas.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk to a ninja.
You want to talk to a ninja?
I just want to say one thing.
Okay, what do you want to say?
I just want to tell the ninja that I'm a ninja,
Of course.
and I will carry on the ninja legacy.
Are you telling a dead ninja that you're going to carry on its ninja
A dead
legacy?
ninja that you may have killed?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Mate, can we say that she found one ninja that was just barely like clinging to life while bleeding out, and in its last moments, she promises that she'll uphold its
She
its
can
honor
talk
and
to the
traditions.
dead. She can
Oh,
talk
you're
to
right.
the dead. She has a magic
You're right.
Lich King crown.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. That's true. That's very true. Never mind.
All right. Asena, are you being sincere? Are you being honest?
Oh, no.
Okay, roll a deception check.
Okay. Did it do it? Oh, did it go? I think it went.
Yeah, no, it went.
I got a 19.
You must serve Mr. Lowe as his silent shadow and his ever-vigilant blade if you are to restore your honor.
Wow.
Just be like,
Quest updated.
yeah, okay. I'll go talk to him right now. Bye.
Asena.
Where is he? Ask him where he is.
Oh.
Wait, yeah, where is he? That's great.
You know, Mr. Lowe, kind of. Last time. Where is he at?
Okay, roll another deception check.
Oh God, again. Okay.
Okay, I believe.
You can do it.
Oh.
What
What
are
I
these
tell you,
numbers?
it's so easy.
What are these numbers? What is happening?
I don't know.
3.
Oh, sick. It's a good day. It's a good day to be a player.
Okay, stand by. Dungeon Master Brain.exe is processing.
Yeah.
What could possibly be happening?
Yeah.
I'll also tell the ninja that I will immortalize him and tell the story of his valiant battle that failed. But
An honorable death is not failure.
and there you go.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought you were going to take his spine and add it to your collection.
I'm telling you, it would fit.
Okay. Mr. Lowe waits in the cave under the mountain where the sea meets the sweet waters.
Sea into waters. All right, headed right there. Have a nice death.
Wait, where the sea do what now?
Where the sea meets the sweet waters.
Okay.
The dead ninja's like, under normal circumstances, this is where I would pass dramatically at the last minute, but that's not really an option, so I'll just keep being dead, I guess.
Yeah, you know, it would. Maybe I could change that someday, but not today.
Understandable. Have a nice day. And at that moment, there's a bright flash of light from the front gate. As the action team appears.
Oh no. Hey, mate, would you mind going into a longer than needed explanation as to who these people are and how we know them?
Of course. They are some of Northport's mightiest heroes. Alacrity, who can initiate bursts of speed fast enough for him to run through solid objects, though only for short periods of time. Bulk, who's been granted supernatural power in her fists and can shrug off bullets. Firepower, who can shoot energy beams from his hands. And Skull, who has skin of living metal.
Dang. That's cool.
Famous movie star Tobias Nash is in trouble. Action team, assemble! Shwing! They look immediately
that-
in your direction. You there! What's going on?
You mean me?
Actually, they're pointing at Draken DeVry because he's the closest
good.
person that they see as they step over the corpse of Guan Gui and his guards.
Wait, this is perfect. We can just run away.
And just leave Draken DeVry?
Yeah,
Well,
fuck
leave
Jack and
Drac-
DeVry.
Who is going to absolutely throw us under the bus?
Who cares? They're not gonna find us later. We leave and that's it. They don't even know what we look like. There is no way this can come back to bite us in the ass later. I assure you.
All right, we have one vote for leave Draken DeVry holding the bag. John, what's your vote?
Not that. skip me, come back. I'll make my decision
Okay.
when I hear the party.
Asena, what's your vote?
I vote that we tell the superheroes it's about time you guys got here.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
I would be way more in line with that one, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go one by one. Gastone, you're invisible. You have Chester with you and some dead ninjas. What do you want to do?
I mean, realistically, I can kind of see what's happening, right? I think because I don't know what's happening, and do I know these people have shown up to the compound? Can I see that far?
Yeah, oh yeah, they like firepower used green energy explosions to make a dramatic entrance, right? He didn't even blow anything up. It was just like this flash of green light, and they all emerged from it in their poses.
Okay. Well, then because Gastone doesn't really know what's going on, I'm just gonna mount my sniper and just watch.
Oh God.
And I'm going to have the sight trained on, I don't know, let's say the guy dressed in red.
All right, that is Bulk. She is immune to bullets.
Well, I don't technically know that, do I?
Do you have history as a skill? I mean, you're like a vigilante in Northport. You would keep track of.
Oh, that's true.
If
This is like the
around.
Justice League.
If these guys exist, then yeah, I would know about them. Okay, I will just
they're
aim
not
at
the Justice League. They're like, Alpha Force.
They're like Team Force.
They're the West
Team
Coast
T.
Avengers.
They're like the West Coast Adventure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, whoever's not immune to bullets, I'm watching them.
Probably Blaster, honestly.
Done.
This one right here. All right, you have a ready to action, and because this is Pulp Adventures,
God.
you can have a ready to action outside of combat. So just tell me if you take the shot.
Okay.
All right, John, what do? You can sort of at least see what Asena is. You would have an idea of her intentions since you're in close proximity.
Yeah. Okay, mate, real quick, just from what I know, does this group work with the police at all?
No.
Are they completely like vigilante heroes, or are they outside the scope of the law?
They're outside the scope of the law.
Okay, so they themselves are kind of not like they don't, aside from just being a hero team that can rough you up, they don't have any actual real lawful way to detain people aside from citizen's arrest.
Correct.
Perfect.
They might pull a Spider-Man where they're like, we're gonna tie you up.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
then the cops are still like, I want pictures of Spider-Man because we're cops and we want pictures of Spider-Man. I don't ignore me.
No, this is great. Mate, can we say that my back was to them, like when they showed up?
That's fine. That's
Cool.
dramatic. I'll allow that.
Awesome. I used disguise self to take the visage of Hank McCarthy.
Ooh!
Clever.
And when I turn around, I finish lighting a smoke, take a nice deep draw from it, and I kind of survey the scene, and I kind of just look over at Asena, and I said, "You're the next top hero. Go along with it." And take a step forward in front of Draken DeVry.
All right.
I put a hand, not on him, but kind of gesture towards him and say, "Let me handle this."
All right.
And I approach the team.
All right. Go ahead and move yourself forward in the guise of Hank McCarthy.
And I do the very slow walk. I'm making them come to me. I'm just moving to the edge of the pavilion.
All right. So, for those of you who may have watched The X-Files, Hank McCarthy has cigarette smoking man energy, but if the cigarette smoking man worked for the agency, right? His hat always casts his face in shadow. His shadow seems to stretch out longer than it should. The glow of his cigarette gives this almost fiendish, gloomy look to his face. He commands a room when he walks in. He's got broad shoulders. He's quiet, but emanates danger. Gastone, you would recognize Hank McCarthy as somebody who works for the department, which is the FBI, but scarier.
I see.
Yeah.
Black market FBI.
The Commonwealth doesn't have a federal Bureau of Investigation. It has the department. So yeah, that's who he just disguised himself as. All right.
And mate, you described these people as, what was their superhero name again? Their team name?
The action team. I believe I said the action team.
The action team. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the action team.
And yeah, John as McCarthy just walks up to the edge of the pavilion and is just taking a draw of his cigarette and just surveying, just staring hard at the rest of the superheroes as they approach.
I curse your name for actually reading the campaign notes, Matt. I curse it. Asena, what do you want to do?
I'll stroll up behind John / Hank McCarthy and just try to look as like muscular as possible. Like maybe I'm like flexing.
All right. Roll an intimidation check with strength. So basically you're going to add whatever you roll, we're going to add 2 points to it.
Oh.
So roll intimidation, strength based. Sorry, just roll intimidation. Oh my god. Oh my god. So
Oh wow.
I want to roll today.
Hank McCarthy, who not only works for the department, but is a member of a very secretive elite subdivision of the department that investigates weird stuff like superpowered heroes. And this woman who just like one of these people down here, again, her superhero identity is bulk and she's just really, really tough and bulletproof. You're flexing on her right now. So the action team assembles, they strike their pose, and then these two walk down. And you can see their resolve. Like, you can see them in their costumes behind their spandex and stuff. They look at you for a moment. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll actually audibly say that. It took, like, oh God, what did I say? Nice of you guys to show up. We were waiting for a while. I think we took care of everything here. And by we, I mean me.
All right. Alacrity, the speedster, uses one of his speed boosts to shift right through Skull, just zoop, to be at the back behind him. It says, Agent McCarthy. Sorry, didn't realize this was department business. We're just checking in. Some, citizens in distress, explosions, bursts of light, unnatural happenings, possible people in need of help.
Alacrity, as always, you talk too much. As you can see, we've got it handled.
Okay.
Thanks for checking in.
Damn it! Damn it! Gastone, you're tracking all of this through your scope. Is there anything you want to do invisibly through your scope?
Right. I don't know. Like things, I can somewhat tell things are kind of looking fine. I think I'm just watching. Because I see he looks like Hank McCarthy. He's talking to him. Mm-hmm. Can probably tell they're kind of backing off a little bit because his impression isn't very good. I'm just watching.
Okay.
What were you asking for, mate?
Nothing. You see Skull, whose skin is made of living metal, sort of bristle, and the plates of his skin buzz and rub up against each other and make this squeaking sound. And Firepower, the one with the energy hands, gives a glare. They whisper amongst themselves for a moment. What did happen here, though? I think the people have a right to know, don't they? Alacrity looks at him like he's got 10 heads. Asena, do you want... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No.
I was just going to ask if Asena wanted to do anything and then turn it over to John.
No, Asena absolutely would say something before John would.
Asena wants to... She's going to ignore that question.
Ooh.
And ask Bulk if she wants to arm wrestle.
That was not what I expected. What was that?
You see Bulk take a step forward and Firepower grabs her shoulder. His hand is like dwarfed just by, the immense muscles up there. He shakes his head. She glowers at him and nods her head. And he shakes his feet.
At the same time that he puts his hand forward, just Hank just puts his hand up towards Asena. Not like stopping her, just kind of like doing that, barely like noticing that she said that as like yeah, she could take you if she wanted, but this is not what we're here for right now, kind of a thing.
Yeah. Asena will back down.
Bulk narrows her eyes at you, Asena. This isn't a hateful glare. This is more like sizing you up in that total, I could take you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John, go ahead.
Hank just looks over the situation. Well, Firepower. You're gonna find out when everyone else does. If the department sees fit to release this information to the public, then just like the public, you'll find out. Until then, as I said, this was department business. The authorities are en route. And you best not be here when they arrive.
Roll a deception check and an intimidation check, John.
Alrighty. Just wondering, I know I'm fishing, but does being Hank McCarthy modify that in the slightest?
Yeah, it lets you roll both of those rolls and take the higher of the two.
Oh, good. Cool.
I'm giving you a weird form of advantage here.
Ooh, I like it. Okay, deception 13 and intimidation 18.
Okay.
All right, Agent McCarthy, sir. We'll be watching just to make sure everything's okay. Action team, disperse! Flash! And they all scamper.
Mate, am I able to do that whole one last thing before they leave?
Yeah, this is a pulp adventure. You can always do one last thing.
I want to throw them, kind of throw them a bone in a sense, without even looking. Hank just gestures over to the wall behind them. One or two of the bad guys might have slipped through our fingers that way. If you really want to show me what you're made of, find them. Bring them back here.
Roll persuasion.
Ooh.
Persuasion. Ooh, an 8.
With advantage.
I have 9.
9. All right, it's not so much that you're not persuasive, as much as Hank McCarthy throwing people a bone is not what they expect from him. So they're probably more inclined to go with the scamper. God damn it. That was literally like, if you were going to be anybody in that encounter, that was the person to be. And he hasn't even shown up in the campaign yet. He's just like a background character. Damn it.
Wow.
Damn it.
That's
But he does exist.
But
he
he
is
exists.
a character in a living, breathing world, Joe.
And at some point, he will find you. But until then, well done. The action team disperses, and what was about to be a huge disaster is averted. Now, local police and Triple Union Society forces are still probably on their way. Does the team want to make their escape?
Yeah.
I think that would be nice.
Any objections?
No, let's get out of here.
Okay. Last time there was like a miracle pizza. This time you just, pick the scariest secret agent in the city. You never win.
That was pretty smooth.
I am glad we got to introduce more of Northport's Gifted. It's like I've mentioned that there's costume superheroes running around the city, but we haven't done much with it, so at least we'll take
Well, and now the cool thing is, even though we were able to somehow avoid the act of God, now the action team exists in the world, and they're probably going to be, if not harassing us, definitely in the world doing things now.
Yes.
Which is always cool.
Activated. All right.
They are activated. Hey, mate, is it possible that we can leave a bit of incriminating evidence, likely pinning this on somebody else?
What do you and Gastone, as our resident investigators, have in mind? This is something you could brainstorm.
it would have to be pretty quick, but I was kind of thinking that between Gastone and I, we've been collecting a lot of little bips and bobs and here and that from our adventures. And I would have to think that Gastone looking for gadget parts and John just being the sticky-fingered goon that he is, maybe have some robot parts from Dr. Zorbius Brandt. Maybe we can kind of make it look like these ninjas were battling robots and that it could have been Brandt that had crashed this party and lasered people, disintegrated them, stuff like that.
Okay, Gastone, roll a science check, and John, roll an investigation check, and by your powers combined, all right, an 11 on science.
Oh my god, a natural 1? Are you kidding me?
It was
Dude,
like,
what is that?
you just took a Zorbot's head, stuck it on a ninja, and drew a mean face with red marker, and then said, "This is foolproof. This could work."
This could work.
All right. So you arrange the crime scene swiftly, leaving some robot parts, blasting a few things with Zorbius's weapons, and going from there. Then you depart. But you're in a rush, so there isn't much time to do it. Where would the party like to take refuge?
That's a good question. Whose place are we closest to?
Mine.
Oh, there you go. I don't think we've been there yet.
Yeah, let's go there.
I mean, we've been there a couple of times.
It's been a while.
It has been a hot second.
XP.
1 XP for everybody. You act like John has a place
Yay.
aside from just sleeping on the couch in his office.
Whoa. Accurate. Also, couch, really? I can't afford a couch.
All right.
You can't. I'll have to.
Spends
I'll
too
have
much
to
money
steal
on
you
pens.
a couch.
Yes,
the-
Do you
pen-
want a couch?
I would love one. Look how the size. Look at the size of this office. I can't believe I'm not even utilizing this to the best of my ability.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Ooh, I mean, I do that.
Ben and Charlie are working diligently on the ever-evolving conspiracy board. You notice they've just put up pictures of Tobias Nash and Dorothy Emersmith and all these different people, and they're like
about that.
going over their dossiers, comparing
Funny
notes.
story. Yeah, a lot of those guys are dead now.
Charlie, he looks at you when you say that, and he like his hands slip slightly. The folder doesn't fall from his hands, but all the documents, receipts, and newspaper clippings just like ooze out onto the floor. Flap, 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 flap.
However,
Yeah.
not all of your work was in vain. There are plenty, and by that I mean 2 people that we still need to worry about.
Okay, well, you two look pretty beat up. You want some day old tea?
Oh,
Catherine
wow,
made
it's not
coffee.
heaty. Ooh.
As Charlie says that, this look of glazed horror passes through him, and his stomach rumbles as if traumatized by a past memory.
But also, isn't he like a being made of ice? So I feel
That's
like
Ben.
hot drinks. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Charlie's a punk.
Got you. But if he's concerned about this coffee, maybe I will not partake.
John has a remedy for that. John goes ahead and uses prestidigitation to make the coffee actually amazing. It won't actually be amazing, but it'll taste amazing.
I mean,
Well.
I think that's all that really matters. It's still coffee.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
That spell will fix the mouthfeel, but it won't help your digestive tract.
Well, that's future Gastone's problem.
That's right.
All
You
right.
know, Catherine likes it bitter. It's just bitter black coffee. That's as bad as it gets.
Cheap.
Unless she used mop water again, then that actually might.
No. That was a one-time thing.
Yeah, that was to get back at Charlie for all the crap he pulls.
Yeah, which honestly he deserved. All right, so
Yeah.
the party has reconvened at the offices of Carmichael and Carmichael. You have succeeded wildly beyond your dreams. You've caused some
Yeah.
pretty significant chaos, though it may be hard to link it for anyone to link you to it. A prominent movie star is dead. A prominent radio host is dead. Several big important citizens have been killed. A crime lord's daughter has been assassinated. The mayor's illegitimate son is dead. The full effects of this are going to echo through the city for a while. But for you, you've holed up on the 11th floor of the Essex Hotel here in the Garment District. Free and clear and beat to hell after your incredible battle. What would the team like to do?
You guys, we literally got away with murder. That's amazing. But they were vampires, so it's okay. Except for the ninjas, they were not.
Yeah, but they work. Yeah, they work for the Triple Union Society, so they suck.
Yeah, but the ninjas were killed by a ninja, so it's okay.
I mean, not all of them, but true, a good number of them. Wait, who?
Me.
Yeah.
You're not a ninja.
Asena still dresses as a ninja, as I recall.
I am a ninja.
A ninja with a spiky iron bone crown and a whip made of human bones.
Nothing about you is stealthy. You hit shit.
What?
It can be pretty stealthy when she wants.
Okay, I move really fast so nobody sees me coming.
I feel like those two are different things.
Whatever, Gastone. Okay, at least you got to be actual invisible. I had to blend in as a ninja.
If that was at the end, I had to stealth too during most of that.
Yeah, you almost got caught.
It's because there were actual ninjas on me.
I just say I make a pretty good ninja. Maybe you should take some tips from me.
If I want to be a mediocre ninja, maybe I will.
Whoa.
John!
I'm not getting in the middle of this. And John takes his cat off of Gastone's shoulder and starts petting it.
Oh, yeah. This guy, by the way, that's a ninja right there.
Yeah, Chester's pretty
Didn't get caught once.
I'm exceedingly grateful that he wasn't killed on this adventure. Aren't we, Chester? We're pretty grateful, huh?
Wow.
So, aside from arguing about who is and isn't the best ninja, and by the way, it's me, we have something to attend to. That was a joke, Asena. You're the best ninja. Don't worry.
Okay.
I think we're at a impasse where I've given.
What's an impasse?
I could look up the actual definition, or I could just say that we are at a crossroads of.
We're at an impasse.
In difficult things.
Taking notes.
There are some. We have some very difficult times ahead of us, and I need to make sure that both of you are prepared for exactly what you've agreed to get into with Hara, myself, and this plains hopping business. So, I had shared with you a few things before we went up to the Gangsterland bar a while back, but I think that there's quite a bit more that you need to be aware of before we continue on this adventure of ours. Also, we should probably lay low in Northport for a while, so this jumping of worlds is coming at a pretty opportune time for us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. It's actually kind of perfect.
Fortuitous, even.
Yeah, and maybe even exceedingly well planned.
Well, yes. Yeah. I think we're more so lucky than prepared, but
nope,
yes.
All skill. Luck doesn't exist here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Your foresight is incredible, Gastone.
That's right.
What exactly are you suggesting here?
So there's a lot you have to get caught up on, but if I try and do it the old-fashioned way by just explaining it, we're going to be here for hours, and honestly, I'd like to get some sleep before long. So my thought was to kind of kill two birds with one stone, as it were. I was going to cast a spell in order to get us to go to sleep. And while we are asleep, I was going to lead the both of you through my dreams and use that dreamscape as a way to very quickly and hopefully sweetly explain what you're getting yourselves into and a little bit more about where I've come from and the mission or quest that I'm on.
What's the spell called?
It's that dream spell that I've used to go gallivanting through people's dreams.
Oh, true.
You want to take us on another
really
dream?
Like?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well, you don't know. You don't look like what you look like.
Wait, what?
Do I
Being
look like
from-
what I look like?
No, I just kind of assume being from a different world, a different like universe. This is not his real form, you know.
Oh,
Trying
yes,
to
actually.
take a form that is easy for us to understand, look at, not be like, what is that? Kind of thing,
Exactly.
you know?
That is the first order of business. I should reveal to you my true form. And John casts a spell, tearing off the guise of his mortal form, and he reveals that he's actually a 7-foot-tall, bug-eyed, 6-armed larva man with saliva dripping out of his gaping mandibles and
Wow.
his fingers and toes clicking with scissor-like appendages.
I'm actually
And-
really glad you did not open with this.
And he
Ben-
drops the disguise. No, I'm a freaking mortal man, you weirdo.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Asena screamed, by the way. She just like, what just happened? Don't do that again.
You know, I can't make any promises, actually. That was funny. That was exceedingly funny. Yes, this is how I look. I told you, I come from a world very similar to this one. Actually, most worlds that I've been on, aside from, the more modern technology, are pretty similar to this one. There's more movie monsters and multiple different forms of humanoids out there across them all, and more. By the way, there are tall, 6-armed, insect-eyed people. I want to be that very clear. Just because I was making a joke, that is actually a thing. But I mean, anything's possible. I've only been to a handful of worlds, and there are, I'm assuming, countless ones out there. And I want to make sure that you're adequately prepared for it, especially considering in order to traverse these worlds, the only way that I really know how to do it, and the way that we'll be using, is by going through a demonic fortress that if you go into the wrong room at the wrong time, you could get turned into a newt, quite literally, explode into 1,000 little crystal shards that will take a millennia to reform themselves, or any other terrible and, quite frankly, insanely humorous forms of death and internal soul-rapturing enchantment.
cool.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, let's do that newt one.
You can do that new one. Maybe then you'll be good at stealth.
And with that,
I did really good. I am a ninja.
Okay. All right.
Charlie's sitting there holding his coffee, not moving, not turning his head, but his eyes just go like from Gastone to Asena, from Gastone to Asena. He slowly sips his coffee.
All right. I guess sure.
All right. So does the party want to take a long rest right here, right now, or what are your thoughts?
That's fine because during that rest, John can do the thing he just said, where we all mind meld and he teaches us things.
Okay. So the way this is going to work is everyone's going to get the benefits of a long rest, including John, but John will have to expend spell points for the dream spell.
Yeah.
All right.
That is understandable.
Gastone gain +1 inspiration from chat.
Ooh,
The
thank you,
roasts.
chat.
also, did you guys want to send for takeout or something? I'm exceedingly hungry.
Oh my god, yes.
I don't think we have time to go to Wound, but there's a nice little Shihai place nearby that I get takeout from on the occasion.
Sure.
Will Ben go bring us the food?
I mean, we can
Yeah.
Ben tilts
No,
his head.
let's send Ben. Sure, yeah. Tell him what you want to send him.
Wait. All right, Ben, are you okay with getting us some food?
I would be happy to assist. Mortal food is an enigma.
I will caution you. Be
Agree.
exceedingly specific.
What's your favorite thing? Can you just get me your favorite?
Oh no.
Are you asking
Yes.
Ben or are you asking John?
Yes. No,
Ben.
Ben. Ask the giant word-eating ice demon to get you what he would get.
Oh yeah, he eats words.
He just brings back a menu. Here you go.
Maybe he'll get me the wordiest thing on the menu.
Ooh, hey, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
I have not eaten there myself. I will find something I like and get it for you.
This is so exciting. Thank you, Ben.
Hey, Ben, I'll take the usual
Ben
because
turns.
I've ordered from there many times.
Ben turns towards Gastone.
Oh, what's this restaurant called? What kind of food do they have?
Like a Chinese place.
Cuisine consists largely of noodle-based dishes, though there are many varieties and options. This particular venue specializes in noodles.
Ask them for their most popular noodle dish, and then get that, please.
Parameters, parameters, and parameters. Workable.
Charlie, you want anything?
Not after the last time. I'm good.
Okay.
Wait, no.
I wasn't going to get you anything anyway.
Ben, I want item number 7. Item number 7. Additional parameters. Boring.
Hey, and Ben, can you do a favor and ask Miss Rascal if she wants anything if she's there when you pass her?
Of course. And Ben goes ahead and just trudges off through the hallway, ducking underneath, sort of like turning slightly sideways to fit through the door, and he walks down the hallway.
I'll yell at him while he's leaving and say, I didn't give you any parameters. You're free to decide for me.
Charlie mutters, the last time that I asked him for something, he repeated what I asked for verbatim, including the 3 times I changed my mind. All right.
Yeah,
so
that's very Ben. Classic Ben.
An hour or 2 later, Ben returns because DoorDash is not a thing in the 1930s alternate universe. And he returns. He got item number 7 for Charlie. He got John's usual. He got the most popular dish for Beatdown. And for Asena, you know the person who goes to Starbucks and it takes them half an hour to give their order because they just keep on adding metaphors and stuff like that? Ben looked at the menu, read it for like 30 minutes, and figured out the longest possible thing he could order. You get this gigantic heaping plate full of food with all sorts of sides, like 5 different sauces on it. It is just culinary chaos.
Ben, this is fantastic. Look how much food is here. How did you know this is what I wanted?
I chose the most delectable item on the menu. And he pulls these he reaches into his coat because his disguise magic is still on, and he starts pulling out these chunks of ice, and every single chunk of ice is one word from the thing that he ordered, and he starts to just eat them. He just starts to eat all the words that he put in the order. So as you're digging into, like, it's spicy, it's sweet, it's sour, again, under normal circumstances, Gordon Ramsay would never approve, but Gordon Ramsay's not here right now. Asena is, and if Asena thinks it's fantastic, then Ben is pleased, and Ben thinks at least one of you has good taste.
I imagine like me and Ben are just sitting on the ground, just like eating all of this.
Yeah, you're like half his size. He's just sitting, leaning up against with his Ninja Turtles disguise on, eating these chunks of ice, absorbing all the words in this language.
Hey, Charlie, when you're done with that, can you get the mop, please? This is just an awful mess.
Charlie goes to get the mop.
After you're done.
Yep, he'll get the mop. He'll mop up all the water that spilled and all the various sauces and grease and spare noodles and tiny little sea creatures that aren't quite shrimp but are related and are pretty tasty.
I was just gonna ask if these weird prawns were in there. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's a specialty. But
there's a full lobster on top, just a full like half. It's not even a fully cooked lobster. It's just been de-legged, just sitting on top.
You will not be buying pens for a while. I'll tell you that much. Although you just came into a bunch of cash, so you can.
Dude, we came into a lot of money.
This is a little victory feast. Also, some guy just paid entirely for your noodles and food.
Heck yeah! Heck
Really?
yeah!
Yeah,
Dude!
treasure in the chat, and there'll be a
Nice.
Happy Meal surprise in there. Because we're in moving mode, my books are no longer right next to my desk, so I'll grab my books of fun and roll for some sort of treasure in a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there'll be a prize in the box as well. Awesome. So everybody
Happy
has a meal, everybody relaxes, everybody spends some time together, and then whenever everyone, please go ahead and give yourselves the benefits of a full long rest. And when you're ready, everybody can just sit down, let John's magic wash over you as he brings you up to speed on the multiverse. Just let me know when everyone is prepared.
I am prepared.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, she. Yeah.
Wait, get my hit dice back.
You get half your level, so you get 3 hit dice back. If that brings you up to full, great. If not,
It does. Perf.
Okay, I think that's everything. Yeah, it looks good. Coolio. All right, and as everybody is laying down for their rest, John is going to go ahead and cast the spell, weaving the magics needed. He'll draw a rather large circle on the ground between all of us, and then he'll go sit in the middle and activate the magic as he himself falls away into the dreamscape.
the floor is yours, Matt.
So, you guys dream normally, probably for about what seems like minutes or hours. It's hard to tell when you're in dream. But the two of you go from just random assortments of what would appear. Asena, probably you spending time in the jungles of Zoquia. Gastone, likely you going through some weird investigation that isn't quite right. Like there's zombies involved and something to do with robots, probably a culmination of some of the adventures you've been going on recently. Just things that you won't remember in the morning, but you're having to deal with now. Might not be a restful sleep, might be something you're very into and you'd be excited to say if you were ever to remember. However, after a few moments of this, both of you see John. You end up uncovering a clue. You go through the next brush and John is standing there and both of your worlds collide and in an instant, it's all gone. You're just in a small, dark room. There's a small blue light barely illuminating from John and the rest of you. And you find yourselves, as the light grows and grows and grows, in a dimly lit pool hall. Where is the map? There we are. Okay, cool. You see two Johns. There is the John that is standing between the two of you, and then there's a second John. A little bit younger, a little bit fresher. Someone who is very laid back but determined, and very excited, though focused on the task at hand. Beside him, there are several other individuals, all just lounging and enjoying time together, talking idly. You can't exactly hear what's being said as John begins explaining. So, this is me and the guys. Well, guys and gals, but we just said the guys. That's how we talked back then. You know, guy was kind of like a general term you'd use for both guy, girl, whatever. Whenever you're hanging out with the dudes, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. This is my chapter.
There's two of you.
There are. Very astute. Yes, we're going to be, just to make this as quick as possible and easy for us, you're going to be going through kind of a video of what I can recall of memories and dreams and such. I'll be doing my best to kind of narrate what's going on, and you'll see the events unfolding before you. Currently, my chapter and I are preparing for our first big mission together. There were some troubling reports of attacks. Originally, people thought there was some sort of animal with rabies. More and more investigations revealed that it was actually people taking part in cannibalism. It was weird. It rose its way up the ranks to where eventually the local law enforcement wasn't able to quite keep up with what was happening, and we were called in.
I want to add a
society.
couple pieces of window dressing here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pool table, familiar to you guys. But there are a few differences. The lights up in the ceiling, the music playing, all unfamiliar, all electronic. No security cameras in this area, but you can smell a kitchen. You can tell this is, for all that it's recognizable to you, the technology here is significantly more advanced than where you're from. Go ahead, Matt.
Weird.
Anyway, our group was called in to help. The Coriander Society, or just the Society, is a, to sum it up, it is a group that is meant to keep the things that go bump in the night from bumping in the night, as it were. I was new. I had just actually been pulled into it myself, and there were a couple of individuals who I was teamed up with. There was Max. He was kind of like you, Asena. He was a very powerful pugilist who had a heart of gold and a lot of money.
As Max is standing there shooting pool, he's got a confident stance. He's clearly got like a fighter's build. His hair is incredibly well kept, slicked back. He's got flawless skin from a really good skin routine, a charming, slightly mischievous smile. And when he leans down to shoot a pool cue, underneath the sleeves of his incredibly expensive modern jacket, you can see wrappings with ancient figures and symbols written on them, and they flicker slightly as he moves.
Ooh.
Can I like just walk up to him and look at the stuff he's carrying?
Absolutely. This is like it's like Asena's dream. You can move around in it. Go ahead and move yourself. So you're standing next to two people. One of them, Max, again, unarmed, incredibly well kept, but around both of his arms, he has these clearly ancient and magical wrappings.
Oh, okay. What about the one to, I guess, technically the left? Red costume looking thing, has interesting looking weapons. Very advanced.
That is Shanks.
Mm-hmm. As she stands there, she's got extensions in her hair that are clearly like plastic rubber. Some of them light up. They're in all sorts of different colors. She's wearing not full body armor, but even here in this pool hall setting, she's got like metal plating on. She's got some sort of a device on her right arm with a bunch of digital keypads on it, and a huge goddamn gun. Just this enormous gun. It's got a rotating barrel. It's got an underslung missile launcher. It's got an advanced targeting computer. It seems to be plugged into her directly. Like there are parts of her. Yeah, subtle parts of her are metal, and she's connected to this gun. Her eyes are clearly artificial, or at least she's wearing some sort of advanced technological contact lenses. And she's tracking the ball. Like as people are shooting, she's calculating the physics of all the different trick shots and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Shinx was quite a character. As you can see, she has a big gun and she knows how to use it. And she's got a lot more than meets the eye. She's not just a charmer. She was actually hired by Mac. Well, I don't know if she was hired by him. Anyway, she was Max's bodyguard. Not that Max needed a bodyguard, but yeah, with Shinx at his side, there was nothing that was going to touch that man.
Mini boss for the final boss kind of deal. I get you.
Exactly. Yeah, except that Shinx was the final boss.
I see. Well, I mean, sometimes that happens in video games, so you know.
And don't get me wrong, Max was exceedingly capable, as you're going to find out the longer this goes on. Next, across from you, Gastone, that strapping looking androgynous individual is Devlin. They were basically our getaway driver, but so much more. They were a crack shot. They were an investigator of sorts as well. They grew up on the streets. I would say that they knew their way around better than most of us when it came to work in the inner city. But
Devlin is wearing almost like a racing suit, but with overclothes over it, right? So a sweater, long coat, pack of cigarettes on the side, a couple of stains, fingerless gloves. Somebody who really, really likes speed, has fast reflexes, seems a little bit stressed out, but is having fun. And this huge gun in a holster on the side. Not quite the same make as John's, but of a similar caliber.
Oh yeah, they also had a magic gun. And then finally, the last member of our group, aside from myself, was a young slip of a thing, Ariana. She kind of fell in with us through necessity, more so than actually wanting to be here. I didn't find out too much about her. She was like a high schooler or something that fell in with a cult. And John actually pulls out the red kiss or the infernal talisman. This actually was hers.
You can see as she's watching the game, not participating, she looks anxious. She's kind of quietly keeping to herself, and she's fiddling with something at her neck. And it is that same red talisman that John sometimes uses.
You took it from her?
We'll get to that. Like I said, you're going to find out just about everything, at least as much as I'm willing to tell at this moment.
You told me you weren't going to lie to me, so... I'm
not lying to you. I'm just going to tell you everything that I can.
Just hide info either.
Well, hiding isn't lying, Asena. And it's not hiding. I'm opening up as best as I can. I haven't talked about this with anyone yet. You two are the first, so I'm not going to say you should feel honored, because I don't think you are. This is not a... Let's just say this is not going to be fun for me. Anyway, the 5 of us were gathering intel and preparing to deal with whatever this was. This wasn't just hopped up cultists or sewer people that were setting upon strangers in the night and devouring them. This was much worse. Much like with Ralzamon's connections, there was something sinister here, and the society knew it. There were many different factions, or chapters rather, within this group. None of us knew any of the others. It was a precaution to make sure that if anything were to happen to any one chapter, we couldn't tie back to anyone, and also in case somebody somehow infiltrated us, we wouldn't be able to get any dirt on the others. We were all working with a handler, and I'm sure those handlers were not given much more information than us. It was very secretive, and the more I talk about it now, not being wrapped up into the allure of being a part of such a secret, cool society, it seems a little bit sketch to me myself. But, we are where we are. And I was just looking forward to utilizing the talents that I had to keep the world safe, make it a better place, do my part. Anyway, one night when we were gathering information, we stumbled across a rather horrible scene. And John starts walking through the bar, the pool hall, into the next area.
His other self leans forward at the exact right moment to let him pass in order to make a really difficult... One of those you have to lie halfway across the pool table shots. Gets out of the way, and John walks right past him.
And John kind of motions for the two of you to follow him.
Ooh.
And when you
as
walk
you guys make
through that transition, it's dream logic where you don't step through, you don't get teleported, but the rest of this bar is some other bar. And the music is broken, the lights are out, there's spilled alcohol everywhere, and just corpses. This bar was packed. There's neon signs with, exit lights overhead, a lot of things that make perfect sense in the modern world, but you wouldn't be used to coming from the technology of Northport. But again, a bar is a bar. This was a very busy bar, and now it's a charnel house. It's just filled with bodies.
One night we came across this. We had gotten a lead that a possible higher up or lieutenant, boss, whatever you call it, as a part of this group that we were tracking, was sighted here. And when we arrived, every single person in the place was dead. And I don't just mean dead, I mean gutted, eviscerated. Their entrails became their extrails. The place was a macabre art piece. It was awful. most of us threw up upon the side of it.
Yeah.
Dream John immediately walks around the corner, looks at everything, turns around, runs to the bathroom, and throws up.
Yeah. It's all right, buddy. Get it out.
I mean, at this point, why not just throw up on the floor? This place can't get any worse.
Because it smells awful. I've saved you from that now, but trust me when I tell you, a room full of horribly eviscerated bodies, it's not like it is in the movies. There's blood and shit and viscera everywhere.
Everywhere.
Who did this?
Well, we're going to find out in a moment.
There's bigger blood over here.
Sheesh. What the hell?
Do you want me to switch it over?
Unless there's anything that I'm just
Nope.
missing that you wanted to touch on.
You're good. The next scene is going to require some explanation, though.
So much blood.
Oh
my God.
Look familiar?
Yes and no.
Do you remember the mayor's son and his angels that we just, not but a couple of hours ago, got into?
Eviscerated.
Yeah, we did pretty well.
Of course I remember them.
Yeah, good times.
You didn't wipe my memory or anything.
No, absolutely not. Well, that group that we had been engaged with, and I mean you, but both of you and I, they're called an infernal cyst. That was what we had stumbled upon here back on Earth. Much like and I think, Joe, you have a handout here, if you wanted to open those for people.
Oh, the symbol or what?
No, the organizations.
Yeah.
So they're part of a group known as the Pact Malefict. And is this okay to share with them, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Already done.
Very good. Perfect.
And you guys don't have to read all of this right now. I'm going to describe the scene, by the way. There's a lot of things that happen between point A and point B.
No, I was going to get there, but it's probably better if you go ahead and take over from here.
All right. The scenes getting here are blurry. John gets in a limousine, or no, John gets in a taxi, and you're all in the back seat as well. It's a very unusually large Dreamlogic taxi, and he insists that the driver follow a car that's screaming out of the way. You can see up on the rooftops over the warehouses undead figures leaping and shambling across the gaps. Things like the things that you fought in the basement underneath the antiques shop. Not the specters, but the corpsey dead. Those running and leaping, scarcely illuminated by the yellow night lights over the parking lots. As he taps this driver on the shoulder, the driver turns around and gives him a strange, wide grin. A huge leering smile. The chase leads them through a city, and again, this is a city that resembles Northport, but Northport in 50, 100 years or so. The freeways are massive and enormous. You can see old buildings mixed with skyscrapers far taller than anything in Northport. Modern structures made of glass. Train tracks that spread for miles, a huge dock with cranes that reach up towards the sky, a bustling modern city by the edge of the water. But this taxi screeches and careens down below, underneath the city. And as it drives further, again, going through tunnels and substructures and parking structures, it opens up into a vast cavern where another city has been dropped. It's as if this older city, older than Northport itself, ancient, I'd say medieval construction, terracotta roofs and thatched houses, but it was all just suddenly dropped here underneath this modern city. Buildings and houses have collapsed and fallen over. They've been crushed under the city above them. The entire structure is broken. The ancient cobblestone streets are jagged and crooked, as if an enormous earthquake has shattered them. At the middle of all of this lies a massive festering cesspool. The taxi containing all of you careens towards it, and you leap out at the last second as the car flies into the festering pool, and the driver giggles to himself. I got the to drive a wheelie box.
What the hell?
More and more of the undead surround them, and you can see the rest of John's team have joined him. Until at last, they're cornered, trapped in front of this ancient doorway, surrounded by the undead. The cab driver lurks over here. Countless undead swarm around them. And as John continues to explain, and I'll pass it over to him in a moment, an enormous dragon, its flesh decrepit, its eyes withered pockets of infernal light, and atop its back, a dripping undead figure. Its maw pronounced too long to be human. Necromantic power swarms around it as it lands this undead dragon on the causeway in front of you.
And maybe just to clarify, these right here are the three, right?
Yeah, correct.
Cool. Perfect. So, this scene before you.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go. My faith is restored.
Oopsie! I pressed a bad button.
Yeah, I can tell. While you're getting yourself reestablished, much like the scene that had played out in Asena's dream prior, where there was a very secretive, very dangerous group of people that had come to Northport, or rather, the world of it's Jarl, right, mate?
Jord,
right? The cyst from the Pact Malefit had come to Jord, and it had consisted of, we saw the Dry Man, we saw the General, we saw that mummy, Castor, and several others. They were part of an infernal group of people known as the Pact Malefit. This group here that we're presently faced with is a very similar cyst that had come to my world. They had brought some city, some piece of another plane with them, and were attempting something awful. We had seen just the symptoms of what they were doing. The attacks happening in the city, the butchering, all of the bloodshed and fighting that was occurring up on the surface was just spilling over from what was occurring down here in the Undercity. Fame, they called it, something or other. It was very similar to what we had seen, and again in Asena's dream, out in the jungles. There was an entire place that was ripped from its time, dimension, however you would explain it, and brought here wholesale, interrupting the world that it now inhabited. And they were doing something dreadful. This character down here, he was the one who had butchered the people in the bar. He was some, I don't know, assassin, demon, some fiendish creature that was able to rend men asunder. This was a vampire, an insane, horrible thing. That was the taxi man that drove his wheelie box, as you heard. I honestly don't know what his deal was. He was insane. I think he was just along for the ride. He didn't seem to crave the bloodshed and killing that the others did, but he was working with them, and he was incredibly dangerous. And even though we knew that there were others as part of this cyst, those that we were faced with were all here, and aside from this horrible undead monstrosity that obviously you can tell is some kind of dragon. I don't even know how the hell he got something like that here.
That's a Dargan?
Yeah, well, it was at one point.
That's not what my Dargan looks like.
He was some sort of horrible undead dragon prophet. And Joe, just because you know a little bit more about this being, I think you should take over for this part.
Mm. The figure sitting on top of the undead dragon, like I said, it's skeletal with pieces of rotting flesh all around it, holding the reins. Right, like it's got reins as it's riding this thing. It's wearing robes and a hood. and its skull is too long, almost reptilian in form. The voice that it speaks with, it's hard to make out the words. It's through the blur of somebody else's dream as it speaks to John and his friends. Over here, all of them trapped in this ancient doorway. You see behind them a sarcophagus, a tomb, an obsidian slab sarcophagus that has cracked. And from it rises a smell that John cannot spare you from, the smell of rot, the smell of decay. Our heroes have clearly broken into this thing. Shinx, the cyborg, is holding a skull, or a piece of this meaty chunk of skull. The flesh on it is long since rotted and blackened, and is clearly just a fragment of something much, much larger. But its presence, even in dream, makes your stomach churn. Asena, roll an intelligence check for me, and I'll take intelligence checks from Gastone as well. And if you have any special abilities pertinent to remembering information, those would apply here. All right. Asena, not ringing a bell.
Wait, is it an intelligence or
Yes,
save?
just an intelligence check.
Okay.
But for Asena, it's going to be the same math, so that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Something about the iconography on this obsidian tomb looks vaguely familiar. It looks like maybe you've smashed an artifact that had something similar depicted on it a while ago.
Wonder who did that.
Anyways, Shinx is holding this piece of a body of something enormous, something clearly inhuman. And as she's holding it, her eyes have rolled back into her head. She's frothing at the mouth, and it's the decayed flesh is starting to grow and to cover her. And you can see Adriana trying to pull it out away from her, but it's not working.
That's not good.
Things were getting pretty dire. Like I said, we had basically stumbled into this. We were tracking what we thought were strange, horrific, supernatural killings, and we ended up finding a plot by these invading, horrid, fantastic monsters that were attempting to use our world as the womb to summon an elder being bent on destroying not just this world, but any world that it could touch. And somehow, our ragtag party, our little chapter of the society, was wrapped up in it, and we had no time to get back to the lodge. We had no time to talk to our handler or get any of this information back to our higher-ups. We had to act. And, I mean, back then, I wasn't nearly the mage that I am now. I was basically an investigator with a few tricks here and there and a magic gun. And so we did the best with what we had at the time. In order to keep the invading throngs of undead away from us, Max single-handedly charged into the fray and began assailing the Dracolich and its rider.
You see Max focus for a moment. The bindings under his jacket glow. The jacket sleeves burn off as just this once he has to go all out. And surrounded by these glow, his entire aura lights up with flickering blue and golden energy. He runs, shoving aside the ghoul, leaps up into the air, and with his fist just completely wrapped in this light and a scream, he punches the necromancer on the dragon in the face. And it goes flying off. And then the undead dragon just eats him. Just chomp.
That's it, eh?
Max.
That's it. I told you, we were in way over our heads, but he did buy us enough time to come up with some sort of cockamamie plan. While Adriana was wrestling with Shinx, trying to get, well, the artifact away, Devlin and I decided the only thing that we could do was to take the only resources that we had, which were 2 magic guns, mine forged from the spear of an ancient supernatural creature, and hers, well, it was a religious artifact, let's say, that was broken down and reforged.
You see the two of them, John with his gun in hand, Devlin with theirs. They basically cross arms, point the gun at this horrible thing at the same time. They don't do the Boondock Saints thing. They don't recite the prayer, but they both pull the trigger. There's a spark of light, and the flesh breaks into a bunch of pieces.
You killed a Dargan.
We did more than just kill the Dargan. This was the egg, the heart, the brain, whatever you want to call it, of an immensely powerful creature. Not even a creature. An abomination. That that hugely horrendous god thing that was in your dream, Asena, the one that crawled out of the box and your previous self was eventually sacrificed to. That thing is a horrendous, world-ending evil, and it pales in comparison to this. And that's not said as any kind of bluff or prideful remark. It just is just a fact of what this thing truly is. And I mean, the three of us are a pretty formidable force, and even the five of us back then couldn't have handled any one of us. So that just shows you how in over our heads all of us were at the time. Anyway, after we destroyed the thing, after Max had died, the rest of us grabbed the pieces of what we had just destroyed, and behind us there was a portal, a magical gateway to another world. At least that's what we had assumed. That's what I could ascertain from looking at the writing and briefly ascertaining exactly what we were looking at. And we dropped some charges, and as we went through, we blew the thing up on the way out, doing our best to make sure that we couldn't be followed and taking our prize, which was the god thing that this cult was trying to revive.
Adriana, Shinx, Dream John, and Devlin all duck through this door, this giant obsidian door that was sealed when this began and is now open, emanating eerie green light. And as they go, with the hordes of the undead chasing after them, there's a massive explosion, a burst of that green light, the portal winks out of existence, and then you are somewhere else entirely.
What the? I'm guessing we didn't go through the door.
Your surroundings
we went through the door, all right.
Are hot and oppressive. This entire chamber is made out of volcanic glass.
Oh, wow.
One gateway, just like the one you entered, is behind you. And as all four of the surviving members of John's chapter pour out, the light in that doorway flickers and goes out. In this chamber are other doors. The survivors have all emerged, blinking into the eerie red light, and the group of you are standing off to the side in a position where you can watch. And again, this is an active dreamscape. You are able to move around. Go ahead.
Mate, for this one, John actually is taking the place of his
all right.
Of his dream self. So he, every now and then, the dream kind of weirdly pauses as he turns and answers any questions or interacts with the party as needed, but he is actually stepping in as Dream John at this point. And he kind of, again, pauses the roll for a moment and just kind of smiles at Asena and remarks, pointing over at this door. Hey, if you actually did want to turn into a newt, just walk right through there. Anyways, back to the show. As all four of the remaining companions step through, they are immediately face to face with the castellan of the Obsidian Tower.
A tall figure covered in fur. Its head is that of maybe a fox wearing spectacles. It has fine robes, very sharp teeth. It's carrying a pile of books, and it is clearly looking down its nose in irritation at everybody present.
Ooh. Smart
I wanna pet it.
animal.
Oh, sweet, merciful dimensions, John. What if you dragged in now?
I like this guy.
Oh, actually, Anonymous, I'm playing through a dream sequence. If you can just kind of be on standby unless I need you.
The
What?
dream version of Anonymous looks at Gastone and Asena. You may have better luck with puppets, finger painting.
You're gonna like this guy. He hates me, but I think he's delightful.
Actually, John, deep down inside, you're the only friend I really have, and we're compatriots and equals. And if only it wasn't for this terrible curse, I'm sure we would be the best of chums.
You're cursed? What's your curse?
Oh no, that's me making him say this in dream. He would never actually tell me that in real life.
Oh yes, because I'm in perfect control of everything around me at all times, because I'm John Carmichael.
Yeah. So this next part we can kind of skip through. Anonymous he doesn't almost kill us. He tries to get us killed. We end up stumbling through this portal, of course, shaken
Wait,
but not stirred.
hold on. Excuse me. I have lines. Do I get to say my lines?
Oh, yes, certainly. Go right ahead, Anonymous.
Blah, 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 interlopers. Blah, 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 the Obsidian Tower. You are not welcome here. Only members of the Pact Malefic are granted access. I am forbidden to help you. I am the castellan of this place, responsible for its caretaking, and I shall look very sternly upon anything that affects the well-being of these halls.
Little do we know, he didn't really have much power
Yes,
at the
little
time.
do you know.
Yeah, well.
God.
Time heals all wounds, Anonymous. Time heals all wounds, except yours, because you're ugly as sin. Anyway, we would eventually find that this group, the Pact Malefic, had been besieged by something. Besieged is the wrong word. It was itself ripped out of time and space and placed into a weird fugue state. Anonymous, you probably have a better way of describing it.
Oh, thank the dark powers. Yes. The Obsidian Stronghold lies at the nexus of multiple planar pathways, intended as a central commune for each individual cyst of the Pact Malefic, so that they could share resources and knowledge, unaffected by the infighting or backstabbing and betrayal that normally leads to the downfall of organizations such as these. With
They're
such a
basically
central...
like the evil Justice League.
They're not from your world, John. They don't know what the Justice League is.
Look, I have to say it, all right? If I can't get my little words in, I go mad, all right? I have to make my little references. You know that? Just let it happen. Don't talk about it, or else you really make me look... Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you do a good enough job of making yourself look. But as I was saying, yes, the Obsidian Stronghold lies at the nexus and crossroads of countless worlds, each one assigned a single cyst of the Pact Malefic, from which to enact their various deeds and schemes. Unfortunately, due to recent... I'm sorry, you're both mortals, right? The dream version of the demon looks at Gastone and Asena.
Yeah.
Shrug.
She's kind of a weird case. We don't really know what's up with that yet.
The real Anonymous would be able to get the measure of you with a simple glance, but unfortunately, projected through the mind of an imbecile, I am forced to rely on direct communication.
I think this is a pretty good facility of you.
Athena's going back. That makes sense.
Where was... yes. Due to a crisis of leadership, some of our normal defensive measures lapsed, and a chaotic entity attempted to seize control from outside. An outside that's not actually supposed to exist. As Castellan and the last remaining resident of the Obsidian Stronghold, I was responsible for the defenses, and I activated all the magic at my disposal. And something went wrong in the process. The network of portals has malfunctioned. The stronghold is cut off from the rest of the multiverse, isolated in a pocket dimension surrounded by an endless storm. The chaotic entity, Chaos God, is still floating out there somewhere, and I'm left here to brush dust that never actually accumulates, alphabetize libraries that have been alphabetized for the last 10,000 years, and occasionally deal with unfortunate, unpleasant mortal interlopers such as yourselves.
Yeah,
Is there
he's talking
anything
about me.
Yes, I'm talking about him. Was there anything that I missed?
You must be bored.
You have no idea.
It's not that boring. I pop in from time to time.
Yes, and even though I act like a total jerk to you every single time, it's because it's the only way I'm able to establish any kind of affection, and I look forward to your visits every single time.
I should talk to Dream Anonymous more often. This is nice. Not that you're not normally, delightful, but this is I always knew you had a thing for me,
Would
buddy.
you mind waking up, John? I would love to die right now.
Later. I have business here. Speaking of which, Dream Anonymous, would you mind just following us around and just juggling for a while?
I don't think you could even imagine me juggling.
No, you're right, but you can trip on your robes every few minutes.
Hey, you just tortured this guy, huh?
Oh, trust me.
I'm just a
The
part of
feeling is
him.
mutual.
Really, if you think about it, he's torturing himself.
It's true.
What else is new?
Imagine a child playing with their action figures of their favorite heroes and then putting themselves in the story. It's really pathetic if you think of it that way.
Okay, you know what? I never wanted to actually be in the story, all right?
Damn, John, your subconscious got hands.
Yeah. Like I said, it's all a little bit foggy up in there. So anyway, where was I? Oh yeah.
Oh no, I have tripped over
I
my own robes and fallen down.
That was actually pretty good, despite the annoying interruption on this, but thank you. All right, so we had all just been jettisoned from our home worlds. Never seemingly to be able to go back, because despite our protests at trying to get assistance from Anonymous or moving through this place and finding a way back to where we had come from, the portal wasn't working anymore, probably because we blew it up on our way out.
This one?
Yeah, the one with the big old X on it.
The one that he blew up.
You can't go back there no more?
Well, no, because there is a no... the portal that connects to it is not there anymore.
Because you blew it up.
Well, yeah, but the alternative was, hordes of undead and a terrible, insane vampire, master demonic assassin, and a literal dragon lich would have followed us and killed us and taken back the
Dragon
artifact.
Lich?
Yeah.
A
I don't know if the
Draco
dragon would have killed you.
It would have killed us.
Oh, yeah, they would have killed us. And also, considering this guy right here, even though we're not members of the Pact Malefic, he is just a castellan. He safeguards what happens here, but unless he gets an order from one of their own, he can't do anything to raise a finger against us. However, what he can do is try and lure us into the various traps and safeguards across this place, which is what he tried to do over the next course of days, weeks, months, etc. Well, continuing with me, years, but that's beside the point. We've got an understanding now. He doesn't really do that anymore, usually. I think he,
not.
really does like whenever I pop in, because like he said, he's been here alone for a long time, and even though he has lots of dusting and cataloging, as he's described, I think trying to get me killed is one of his only real pleasures anymore, so yeah. Anyway, the Last of Us arrived here, and I'm gonna mostly breeze through this next part, but I want to give you guys enough information to have a good sense of the do's and don'ts when we actually do arrive here, because we are going to be coming here shortly. This is known as the Obsidian Tower. It is a very large, insanely dangerous place. Anything that we've so far done as a group up until this point has been a cakewalk compared to just wandering these halls. If you'd like to go ahead, let's just move our way around. We can take a cool little tour. There's a lot of this place that I've discovered, and there's even more of it that I haven't. This here is the first floor of the tower. Or rather, it is the main floor of the tower. And I think, Anonymous, how many floors are there again? It's like more than 10, but less than 20, right?
Well, floor isn't a very good terminology to refer to a multi-fractal dimensional pocket realm.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were gonna, break that down in layman's terms for me, like there's like 15 or 13 of those places, right?
Sure. I mean, I'm not the real me, and the real me would know that. I'm just a part of your brain, so that sounds like a great answer.
Well, yeah, but I've picked it out of you a little bit. I think I have a pretty decent idea.
It's got to be somewhere in the 13 range.
I think I just made that up because 13 is a lucky number. Oh, yes. Yeah. No, we're coming back here soon. This is how we're going to get to where we need to go.
Really? Isn't this the den of really terrible, extremely terrible people?
Yes, but remember, they can't actually get back here.
Yeah.
Oh, they can't come back. Okay, true.
No. See,
the entire portal network, exactly. The entire network is broken. And that's why we have to be very careful, the portals that we do use. I have done the best that I can, which is pretty good, in hacking into their mainframe and asking the right questions and, just generally being an upstart investigator and wizard, in order to find out which of these portals actually have active sys behind them, and I avoid those sys, unless I absolutely have to go there. In which case, like we've done, I try to kill the sys that I find to make sure that they can't come back here in order anonymous to destroy everything that I've worked the last several years towards. Because if even one actual member of the Pack Malefic was able to come back here, they could basically, like you said, take this place over and be some kind of horrible dark organization once more. But they'd have to be able to get the portals back online, which is extremely difficult to do.
Nice.
But not impossible.
Less nice.
So we do need to make sure, and this is something we are not going to mention to the real Anonymous, but it's fine talking about it to the stream version. We do not mention when we encounter sys out in these real worlds that we go to. If we encounter anything related to a sys, we do not let Anonymous know, because I have no idea if he has a way of getting in touch with them, if this is made aware.
Okay.
So, I know that you guys are very fun and very coy, and we all poke fun at each other, we have a good time, but when we're in these halls, we need to be very, very careful. No jokes, no quips.
Very serious.
Yes, exactly. Very, very serious.
Good luck with that.
Well, every now and then. But just be very careful, because literally one little slip up can be the difference between life and death. So,
Asena, you're standing in front of a statue of an immense horned winged figure, a fiend of some sort, and it holds, like an offering in its hands, a stone book. The surface of the stone book is covered with shimmering, changing runes that emanate light up onto your face, like light passing through water.
Look at the watery, lighty book stone.
Yeah, John walks up and stands next to you.
Go ahead, Gastone.
I was going to say, you should touch it.
I'll poke it.
All right. The runes, when you touch it, they sort of like clump around your finger and more light gathers there and they seem to interact. It's like you're swishing around in alphabet soup.
This is neat.
This is actually something
what does this
you can touch. Yeah, no, this is good. This is basically a directory of sorts. As long as you have the technical know-how and or magical aptitude, you can basically utilize this in order to find out information specifically pertaining to this place and things like it.
Huh.
Unfortunately, as none of you are fully initiated members of the Pact Malefic, the Infernal Directory is not designed to respond to your requests.
Yeah, but
it can be moved, right?
Exactly. Basically, consider it firewalls. There's things in place to make sure that those without authorized access.
The world doesn't have computers.
It's like what do you call it?
What are computers?
Yeah. No, you know computers, Gastone.
You would be, because technology is a little bit ahead and because you're like on the cutting edge, you'd be familiar with the concept of a computer, calculating machines, stuff like that. You'd have like the framework of it.
There are walls put in place to make sure that those without authorized access can't get here. Basically, this is like a really souped up Thornacre mansion, but I mean like incredibly souped up. And it's not just like bozos with machine guns guarding it. There's like demons guarding it.
Okay, we got through Thornacre pretty easily.
Again, I want to reiterate, it is a souped up Thornacre. This is a super
Exactly.
Gornacre
You
with
know.
demonic guards.
This will take moderate effort now by transitive properties, no?
You know, here's the thing. I'd like to
math
counter
checks
you on
out.
that, but I figured it out. Well, okay, I say figured it out. I stumbled my way through it pretty effectively. But again,
See?
this is not like a you got over the wall and you're in there and you're fine. This is like you got over the wall and there's another wall, but like you have a little bit of the courtyard that you're able to now maybe kind of somehow get into and figure things out. And sometimes that courtyard isn't actually there and it's a big old lie. Look, half the stuff you're going to find out from this directory is actual red herrings and straight up lies. I have figured out the hard way. But as long as you kind of start figuring things out and, you know, trial and error, you can get some pretty decent information out of it. Anyway, let's not linger here for too long. We have a lot of things to cover. For the most part, though, this is the majority of what I've seen, is that there are portals on the other side. There is a directory here. Oh, these big fire pits we're passing, these are actually elemental spirits that do something or other. I don't know. There's some weird chain of events that you have to fulfill in order to get them to help you, and they're just as soon to destroy you as they are to help you, so you got to be really careful.
A figure, as you look at the fire, it coils around and you can see the 3D outline of a flaming snake inside. And it
Hey, do you
speaks.
talk? Dude, me too. Yo, Santa, do you know what he's saying?
I don't know. Hi, Snake. I think he said hi.
You talk to animals, don't you? Isn't that kind of an animal?
I don't think it's an animal.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, bye, Snake.
Run.
Okay, maybe it is. an animal.
That's me humoring you. There is a collection of portals
More
here,
doors.
and I've only been through one of them, and that was a long time ago. We
Only
don't just
one?
go. Oh, I've only been through a handful of these. You don't just go into portals willy-nilly, especially because most of them don't work.
Should we try?
And well, I mean, you know, I haven't been through most of them, so again, if you go through one, I would be making up wherever you go.
Okay,
we're
which
not
one have
really
you
here.
gone through?
I've gone through this one.
What's this one?
That one's Merlin World.
Who's Merlin?
He's a very famous wizard from my era, and also others I've come to find.
Is he a better
Fam-
wizard than you?
Absolutely. He's the wizard. He literally he's the Gandalf of wizards. This guy, I'm
John,
pretty
they
sure
don't
he's an
know
actual.
who Gandalf is.
That's very true. No, I think I might have talked about Gandalf at some point. They've heard of him.
I've
at
heard
least
his name,
mentioned
but
him.
The group of
Amazing.
things John has talked about and things that make sense to his friends overlaps about this much.
That's true. But I have mentioned
True.
Gandalf a couple of times. So I think they get
Therefore,
the
you get a
idea that
free
Gandalf's a
pass.
big, powerful wizard. Exactly. Now you're getting it. I love this Anonymous. This one's very much more agreeable than what I'm used to. Anyway, that being said, this is basically, if you want to go to Fantasyland, this is the place. Anywhere that you have dragons and giants and weird gods and monsters and witches and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty awesome here, and this doesn't function like the typical fantasy world that you've seen. This isn't Middle Earth or anything like that. And I know they don't get the reference, Anonymous. It's fine, but it's pretty intense. Just like everything else, I almost died while I was here, and I was only barely able to find my way out because this place does not function like most of the other worlds I've been to. I mean, most of the worlds I've been to don't really function like each other. They're all pretty separate and different. But whatever you think a fantasy world functions like, this thing's pretty darn different. Anyway, we don't have time to go gallivant. We're going to be world hopping shortly. I don't have time to take you through my remembrance of what that dream world used to look like. So let's be on our way. These are elevators up here. I've never used them or have. Joe, have I used the elevators?
Yep, they go to other areas which are not important to the plot at this time.
Perfect. Yep, I've used them. They're cool, but not important right now.
I think it's broken.
And yeah, this is basically the main level that I've seen. And you'll notice that there's a door up ahead of us. There were doors behind us. Basically, there are 4 main doors on this level that go to other chambers, and those chambers lead to more doors, and those doors lead to more chambers with more doors. And eventually, there is a large labyrinthine network of halls, doors, and places of which you can go to more places with more doors and more chambers. Basically, what you need to know is that throughout this level, there is a bunch of portals behind some of these doors, some that I've been to, some that I haven't. And then each one of these doors has a horrible, ridiculously dangerous, and difficult to bypass magical or physical trap, or both. And I am going to have you guys attempt to get through this door just to get a sense of what going through one of these without really taking your time would look like. So if one of you can go ahead and approach door number 1.
Test us?
Well, I want you to get a sense. If you just go wandering around this place without me and decide to just go poking around, what could happen to you? So if one of you would like to step up to the plate and go test door number 1.
Is this the right place?
That is a door.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Joe, tell them what they find.
Gastone, the door here is also made of the same volcanic glass, but shaped into it is a relief, a carving of souls being dragged down into a fiery lake of molten sulfur. The door has no apparent handles or locking mechanism. What would you like to do?
Just push it, I guess.
Great. As you push it, the ground beneath you opens. It's not mechanical. The actual ground itself, like the volcanic glass, just widens into a perfectly smooth chute. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
John leans into whisper to Asena. I was going to tell him to investigate before touching the thing, but this is actually a good lesson.
All right. You go sliding down into the chute. You attempt to grab yourself as it goes over, but again, it's volcanic glass and it's just perfectly smooth. You go flying down a tunnel into an actual pool of bubbling, boiling sulfur. Is there anything you can do before you hit the bubbling, boiling sulfur? Class abilities, etc.
No.
Okay. Great. You hit it, and you take 10d10 fire damage. Okay. You take 62 points of fire damage. And you wake up.
Oh. Okay.
John, if they die in the dream, they leave the dreamscape.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. I was going to pull him out right when it happened. Oh, crap. Okay, I'll be more careful next time.
What did you do?
You could have said that this whole time. You could have shaped the dream to you could have interrupted me at any point to shape the dream. It's your dream.
No, I know, but I'm honestly really tired. And
you just let Gastone die a dream death?
Well, no, I mean
worry.
like his dream self did. He's fine.
At least this one of his companions only died a dream death, unlike the others.
Oh.
Well,
now that
dangerous to be friends with John.
Don't answer that anonymous.
No.
Don't answer that anonymous. I just didn't want to hear him say it. Yes, it's exceedingly dangerous to be my friend, but it's also, very good to be my friend because, even though I can get you into messes, I can get you out of messes. And usually I'm not the one that gets people into messes in the first place. I just happen to be dangerous places. And if you come along for the ride, you're also in a very dangerous place. This is one of the reasons why I never partnered up with anybody. And I was very hesitant about having you two join on me in the first place. But you already knew that.
John, would you like to spend the spell slots for another dream spell to get him back in here?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Assuming, Gastone, after you wake up in a cold sweat in the office, you would want to go back in. That's totally your prerogative.
I can go back in?
Yeah, he can get you back. He just has to spend the spell points to get you back in.
Sure.
Which I do, yeah.
All right. Gastone appears completely fine, but the smell of sulfur and just a few bits of smoldering on his very nice clothes.
for added effect. Anyway, John goes ahead.
Were we gonna talk about the floor opening up?
Oh yeah, that's one of the easy ones.
Yeah. It was pretty easy for me to fall down like that.
Yeah, this place sucks. Anyway, John opens the door, like uses his. He's already been through it, so he does the required magic that's needed to get through this place. Whoop. All right, this right here, this portal on this this little side of the wall. This is where one of our next, you could say, adventures takes place.
Book?
Yes. Yep. Oh yeah, another book. Yep. And mate, remind me what this one does again. This door. That was horrible.
That one comes to life and just kills you.
Yeah. Okay, that's not a big deal. Anyways,
Gastone, Asena, roll perception checks. All right.
I perceive.
As you walked by this portal, you see Shinx, the cyborg, inside it, holding her hand up against it, screaming, but completely still.
What the hell?
Yeah. So this is where we're getting to the crux of this part of the story. Over the course of the next few adventures, my companions and I were doing our very best to hide these. And at this, John reaches into his dreamlike briefcase and takes out a chunk of something. It just looks like, it basically looks like a calcified piece of flesh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have that in your pocket?
I have a lot of these in my pocket, although considerably less than I used to have. Yes, these specifically. This is what is known as the flesh of Kur. And that horrible heart, brain, egg thing that we destroyed in the last stream, we recovered as much of that as we could, hopefully all of it, I think, before going through the portal to arrive at this place. And we distributed it amongst ourselves. And while we were trying to find our way to get back home in vain, we had decided that we were going to hide or seal away pieces of this living artifact into the different worlds that we came across. We figured that if we scattered this thing across the multiverse, there's no way it could be brought back together in order to be reformed and have that god resummoned. And as part of our journey to find our way back home in vain, we did so. However, again, like I said, we were inexperienced and quite frankly pretty weak, and we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. And over time, we separated. And by that, I mean, we ended up on a world that was basically nothing. It was the remnants of a world. And we lost someone here. Adiana, the girl that came with us.
You see her. You're standing on a broken, fractured courtyard. Pieces of the terrain just float. Chaotic nebulas and arcs of energy are everywhere. This is the last remnant of a broken world. The team, Shinx is still alive. Devlin and Shinx are clinging to the terrain, knocked asunder by the swaying and crashing of two gigantic rocks. A younger John is leaning out over the abyss, holding on to Adiana, but it's a frozen moment. Everything's completely frozen. He's grabbed her by the red kiss, by the artifact, and the chain snapped, and she is falling into the shimmering void.
This was the second time we lost somebody. We lost Max back on Earth. We lost Adiana in this destroyed wreck of a place. And while John kind of flicks the artifact. I inherited this thing that she was carrying with her. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is. I can tell you it's bad. I don't know how she got a hold of it. She never went into much detail about it. And it's taken me a long time to try to figure out exactly what it is. I think it's a key. And it definitely has something to do with the Pact Malefic. But I'm not sure what.
Back in the halls of the Obsidian Stronghold, Shinx is frozen behind a mirror. Adriana is gone. And you see Devlin turning angrily away from John and walking through a portal that collapses behind them. And now it's just you, the three of you, and Anonymous. And we are going to take a short break, folks. We will be back afterwards. Don't go anywhere.